Hi and welcome to Preter Audio Phantom Surround Processor tutorial. Actually more like a set of guidelines on how to use the processor to achieve better result. I'll be using Pro Tools here, but you can use any DAW as long as it supports surround. So first you build your surround mix the way you would normally do. Although you can simply use the Phantom Surround processor on any 5.1 audio, such as full mix of a film, it is more like a sound design tool that lets your surround sound translate to stereo in a truly unique way. Think of it as of another creative sound design tool, the way you would think of a reverb, compressor, or subharmonic synthesizer. And you will have more control over your mix and consequently get a better result. The processor can help you enhance the stereo image. The effect is similar to adding 3 more phantom speaker locations, center, left surround and right surround, to your physical left and right speakers. Note the enhanced stereo image compared to normal downmix in the following example. You can combine the processed and unprocessed audio to create stereo image that suits your needs. So first you need to decide which elements of your 5.1 mix you want to process, and why, of course. I've learned that the most dramatic effects are achieved using left surround, right surround pans and center to rear movement. Something like this. To achieve the illusion of sound being inside your head, try using rear surround channels, like so. Also, try using the center, left surround, right surround panning triangle. This works really well. Here's an example. I've learned that not all sound translates equally to stereo after processing. To achieve maximum effect that best translates to wide stereo movements, a good practice is to cut excess low and high frequencies and boost the fundamentals of the sound objects in your sound design. This usually gives a better result as it prevents unnecessary frequencies from being processed. It's just like your normal stereo mixing, where you cut those frequencies you don't really need in a certain sound element in the mix to create room for something else. Also, consider using mono sounds when you're building your 5.1 mix, as it can give the listener a better movement clarity. Try not to cram your 5.1 mix with a bunch of simultaneous surround panning. In my experience, too much crazy movement confuses the listener's brain and it simply gets ignored. Instead, try keeping the focus on one thing at a time, like in this example. Another thing to keep in mind is to avoid using reverb and delay effects on those elements of the mix you plan to process. After all, your goal is to build a stereo mix as your final output. Reverb and delay type effects spill the audio to surround channels, which in turn results in loss of spatial focus. You can always add these effects later while you're building your stereo mix. So, once your 5.1 mix is done, export the tracks you decided to process as 24-bit 48 kHz 5.1 interleaved wave audio files, log into Preter Audio website, and upload your files. The best is to do it one by one. Just a small note here, Chrome, for example, can have issues with this. Firefox works fine. Once your files are uploaded, it will take the system a few minutes to process them. Once it's done, you'll receive a notification email or simply refresh the page every once in a while. You can listen to the processed sound and process it again if you're not satisfied with the result, which can sometimes happen. Download your processed files and use them to build your final stereo mix. I usually make a copy of my surround project and change the routing to stereo. You'll probably need to take down the levels of all channels 6 to 10 dBs, as you are essentially packing 6 channels into 2 channels. Now you can add your reverbs and delays, make volume and pan correction, etc. You're basically building a normal stereo mix. And that's it. I hope it was helpful.